What's up, Doc? Oh, what is this? What is this? Guys, I think something very special has arrived today. Okay, so no cover for this thing? Oh, there it is. There we go. All right, as you very well might be aware from our previous video that we just posted talking about showing all of the progress on this tree, we started cutting things up. We started hauling things to the road after they finally came and got the trunk after a month of waiting. And I went and purchased with Jess a brand new chainsaw because I knew we're gonna have to have one if we're gonna cut all this stuff up. I can't rely on someone else's. And the one that we got ended up not working well enough. Did a little bit more research. My father-in-law has a Husqvarna chainsaw. He's got a really expensive one, kind of a heavy duty one. So I thought, well, let me just not get that one. Let me try to find something a little cheaper. I went with the Husqvarna 460 Rancher, and this thing is massively heavy. This is incredibly heavy. This is way heavier than the one that Ted has. But it comes with the 24-inch blade. Yeah, this is 24 inch, I think. So this is a massive, massive chainsaw. So yeah, this thing is probably gonna be able to cut more than just a little measly old branch. Okay, it's 2 days later, about 2 o'clock right now, 2:30, and we're gonna fill this up with oil and with gas, and we're gonna give it a try.
We have our regular tomatoes, and we've got like 9 or 10 of these little guys on here. They're so cute and little. I will say though, we had one, and like there was just one growing, and I accidentally like went to touch it and it just like fell off, and I was really, really upset about it, wasn't I? Yeah. Like Justin knew I was upset. Here we have cherry tomatoes. We've got a few way under there. I'm surprised we don't have more growing, so I'm not sure what that's about. Not sure. But we have 2 peppers. These are gonna be red peppers because red peppers are my favorite. But we've got one guy down in there, and then we've got one guy up there. And that's it so far. We've got a couple more buds coming through. So.
Where's the other one?
One's right there.
Oh, there it is.
He's a pretty big one. This one said it might be like 75 to 80 days before we get anything from it. I'm not sure with those tomatoes. They're growing pretty fast. Mm-hmm. So we might have something within a month's time frame, maybe sooner.
So this is pretty much what's left of the backyard. We still have this massive stump. We've got all that wood. This is what we're gonna turn into furniture. So one table there, and then we're gonna try to make a headboard for our bed with that one, and then just other pieces of furniture, tables. And then we're also making a pile right here in the middle of the yard. As you can see, we built a fire here the other night, last Sunday, and we're just gonna kind of start cutting up some firewood to burn here, and then we'll also transport some out to the property eventually once we're able to get a truck or a trailer to load everything, and that way it can just kind of be like a family wood supply, which there's plenty of trees out there too. So I don't know what I need to start on first. If I just need to keep trying to cut some of the brush, I may just kind of keep cutting the brush, dragging that to the road. Am I overexposed, underexposed?
No, you look good. It's you don't want to go either way because then the lights are gonna be too light or the darks are gonna be too dark.
Okay, it's a brand new day, and so yesterday had some problems getting it started. I think the carburetor got flooded from what I researched. Too much gas in there, and so it just wouldn't start. So I got it started this morning, and I go to cut something and it won't cut, and I'm like, okay, crap, we've got another faulty chainsaw. Turns out the chain was on backwards. They sent us the chainsaw, Husqvarna. What in the world? You sent us the chainsaw with the chain on backwards. So I just got done switching it out and turning it, and then I cut this piece right here.
I feel like they do that on purpose. They just put it on backwards so like they make you learn.
They might actually do that. Maybe they put it on backwards so that they make you figure out why it's not working so that you can work on it. But this is like a frisbee. We're gonna play frisbee with that.
I thought Des was for sure gonna go after it.
Probably would. But this thing's pretty heavy duty. And literally, it's heavy.
How much do you think it was?
Like 40 pounds.
Really?
You wanna come pick it up? Come here.
Put it on the ground, please. Oh dear Lord.
Hey, that's a good squat. Did you see that?
I have a bad back, y'all.
That's a good kettlebell squat right there.
I have a bad back. Let's get that maybe 10 pounds lighter and that'd be good.
We'll get you a smaller one. Supposed to rain tomorrow, so we're gonna have to cut a little bit. It hasn't rained. Thankfully, it hasn't rained in like 4 weeks here. So thankfully, it's not made this area muddy, but we're gonna try to pick some pieces that we're gonna try to cut and just test out today. So we're gonna make some tables out of all this stuff. We'll just see what we can do first. What's gonna be the easiest? It's gonna be some test runs, and then we'll go from there. But we wanna get it cut today before it rains, so they'll dry out.
Justin, look at his paw. This one right here is like perfect side table round.
Which one? That one?
That one is. And then this one right here also is too. These are a lot bigger.
Sure.
But those are both pretty good if we want to do both of those today.
Okay. That's a pretty big piece of wood.
I mean, even these we can do side tables with, but this one's pretty small. I don't know that. Oh gosh, babe. I'll help you. I'm gonna push it over and put it under the camera. I'm thinking we should do pretty thin slices.
Thin slices.
How's this outfit looking today, though, y'all?
You're looking super American.
It's almost the 4th of July. See how it's already kind of cut at a slight angle?
That side's not. That side is.
So we can either start from this side straight or start from this side, but you have to go angle.
Let's start on that side.
Okay. So I'd say let's do like maybe this thick. We could do less even, but we're gonna router it down with the router, which we have to build a router set thing, so you know. But that's cheap.
So you can see it's just a little bit wet right here in the center, so I have to let that dry out. But that's about, what, 3-4 inches right there thick?
About 2.5, but by the time we router it down, it'll probably be just about 2 inches thick.
Yeah.
So we'll probably make some that are a little thicker, some that are pretty thin.
All right, our first batch, first piece of wood, it's all cut. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. Lost count. Don't laugh at me.
This is funny.
So they're not super even, but I got them as even as I could. This first one was pretty thick, which I think is fine. I've seen some that are pretty thick like that. And then I tried to go a little thinner on some of the other ones. So we'll see how that turns out. But next, we're gonna try to move this big log here and cut that piece. So there's, on one end, we've got this pretty big hole where maybe something crawled in there or it rotted out, but I think the other end is going to be our best bet. So we'll probably just try to cut until we meet that hole.
Even after we cut and find the hole, we can still keep those pieces and cut them off. We can do some epoxy tables with those, but it takes a lot longer for that wood to dry out.
We'll just see how it goes.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We do want to do some epoxy tables at some point, but
Yay.
We're going to start with regular ones first.
Yeah.
Make it easy on us.
Oh yeah, this one is much better. Much better. Still not perfect all the way around. That's gonna be hard to do, but
we'll show you how we build a router.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use the router on it, and sand it and all that. So we'll straighten it out as best as possible. Jess is hauling off as much of this brush as we can get. But that's what we're currently doing right now. Taking a break from that, and we're gonna try to tackle some more of this brush because brush pickup is supposed to be in our district this week. So we're trying to get as much of the road as possible. And then separate stuff like this that could be used as fire, you know, fire starter, fire tinder, whatever you call it. And then some of these pieces as well that will later turn into actual pieces of firewood. All of this stuff, a lot of this stuff can just be turned into firewood. And then the bigger branches, you can drag those to the road. Jess said that the only 3 that we might potentially turn into tables are these 3 or 4 pieces, maybe 5, 6. But yeah, things like that we're taking to the road right now. But I ran out of gas, guys. Gotta gas up.